So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I recommend thinking about sentence level pitch accent. So basically, if you want to know what's going to happen pitch accent wise to an entire Japanese sentence, there's two different types of things that you have to know. First of all, you have to know the pitch of all the individual words in the sentence. And then second of all, you have to know all the different pitch accent rules which are going to apply to that specific sentence. So to give you guys a quick example, let's say that you just wanted to know the pitch of the phrase 入らないで. So you would have to know these two things. You'd have to know, first of all, the pitch of hairu. So you'd have to know that hairu happens to be a non-heiban verb. So I won't really go into it here, but basically there's only two different types of verbs when it comes to pitch accent, heiban verbs and non-heiban verbs. All non-heiban verbs have the accent drop after the second to last syllable, and they all conjugate in the same way. So for pitch accent purposes, all you really have to know is it a heiban verb or is it a non-heiban verb? And hairu happens to be a non-heiban verb. And then you also have to know the rule for when naide attaches onto verbs. So it just so happens that when naide attaches onto verbs, if it attaches onto a heiban verb, then it's going to drop after the na. And if it attaches onto a non-heiban verb, it's going to drop before the na. So because hairu is a non-heiban verb, that means it's going to be dropping before the na. So you can see, if you know, first of all, the pitch accent of the individual word, plus whatever specific rule is being applied, then you can derive on your own what the final answer is going to be. And basically, when you get to longer, more fleshed out sentences, it's just the same thing. It's a combination of all the different rules being applied to the base pitch accents of the individual words. So let me give you another metaphor that you guys can use to think about this. So if you think about video games back before there was the internet, you needed two different things to play a video game, right? First of all, you needed a game cartridge. So if we're talking about, you wanted to play Pokemon on Game Boy, you need the actual Pokemon cartridge, whether that was, blue or red. And then you also needed an actual Game Boy, so the game console. So basically the idea with this metaphor is that the game console is something you only need to buy once. It's a limited thing, and as long as you have a working game console, in this case a Game Boy, you can play any single Game Boy games that you happen to own or go on to acquire in the future. And in the same way, the system of pitch accent rules is something that's very limited. It's something that's set in stone. And once you learn all of the pitch accent rules, which actually doesn't take too long, you could probably do it in a single week if you really dedicated yourself to it. After you learn all the pitch accent rules, then you know them all forever. You never have to learn another one again. And you're going to be able to know what happens pitch accent wise to any sentence that you know the individual words to. Just like how if you have a Game Boy, you can play any Game Boy games that you own. And so what I hope this metaphor helps you understand is that, well, first of all, it's just useful to keep these two different types of information separate in your head so that if you're ever getting caught up on something related to pitch accent, you can be clear about what you're getting confused on. Are you getting confused about an individual word, or are you getting confused about what rule is being applied? And that can help you go about solving the issue. And also, I want you guys to realize that the real challenge when it comes to mastering pitch accent is not learning the system of rules. It's learning the pitch accent of individual words. Because although there are a lot of patterns and things that can help you predict what the pitch of a word is going to be, or that can make it easier to remember the pitches of words, ultimately you still have to go word by word, memorizing the pitches individually. And because there's thousands of words in Japanese, that means that there are thousands of pitches that you need to memorize. And so this is ultimately a much bigger and more challenging task than just learning the limited set of rules. And thinking about it this way also will probably help you understand why Yoga and I have designed the Japanese support add-on in the way that we have. So the MI Japanese support add-on, it color codes words. And no matter what form a word is conjugating into, it's still colored in order to match its dictionary form accent. And the reason for this is that the goal of the add-on isn't to teach you the pitch accent rules. That's something that you can do on your own very easily within a week, right? The goal of the pitch accent add-on is to help you learn the pitch of individual words, because this is the truly difficult task that's going to take a lot of time and effort. And so, like we said, if you saw haira naide and you know the pitch accent system of rules, as long as you know that hairu is a non-heiban verb, you automatically know that haira naide is going to drop after the ra. And so you don't need the add-on to tell you that, right? This is something you can know automatically as long as you know the system. And that's also why sites such as this one, where you can type in a whole sentence and get the answer, get the pitch accent answer, you don't really need it that much, and they're not actually that useful. Because, well, basically, either you already understand all the pitch accent rules that are operating, in which case you don't need the little readout because you already know what's going to happen before you even look at it. Or second of all, you don't know some of the rules, in which case this site isn't going to help you that much because it doesn't actually explain the rules. It doesn't explain its work. It only gives you the final answer. So, for example, if you saw like heya no naka, and just because you got the final answer that, okay, it drops after the na, that's not going to help you unless you understand that actually heya is odaka, but when odaka nouns are followed by the particle no, then the drop is generally overridden and the whole construction becomes heiban. You have to understand that rule if you actually want to understand what's going on at a pitch accent level and be able to speak with correct pitch accent yourself. And so again, because this site, it doesn't actually teach you the rules, then it's not going to be very useful to you. So either you already know the rules and you don't need the site, or you don't know the rules and the site's not going to help you because it doesn't teach rules. And the other thing is that even if you just want to use it as a reference to kind of double check your own thought process, it just in general is very inaccurate. I can think of lots of examples that would break its algorithm and make it give a very wrong answer. And the other thing is that lots of words have multiple pitch accents, and the pitch accents of words actually change depending on the context. Like, for example, if I said, if we did this sentence, it says that boku is going to be a tamadaka, when in reality, boku is almost never pronounced as a tamadaka anymore. It's almost always pronounced as heiban. It's only used as a tamadaka in basically anime or basically newscasts and stuff, where there's basically people going out of their way to speak what was traditionally considered to be correct Japanese. But everyday people on the street almost never say it this way. But again, this isn't telling you that, right? It's just telling you the final answer. And also this thing right here it's basically only going to be accurate in like the most neutral situation, because in reality, pitch accent mixes with intonation and it can completely change the pattern. So like 9 out of 10 times, even if it did get the right pattern and it said that, for example, boku was heiban, it's still not going to match this actual curvage 9 times out of 10. And so basically at the end of the day, this site isn't really going to help you because it's not doing what you really need, which is teaching you these two things. And so basically what I recommend is actively study the pitch accent rules and then use add-ons like, you know, the MI Japanese Support add-on to help you learn the pitches of individual words. When you combine these together, then you're going to understand what happens at the sentence level.